Hello guys, and welcome to week 11. You've just gotten through the most difficult week of the year, where you had to actually write out your entire literature review and put everything in order and all of that sort of stuff. And so now you're moving on to another week that's going to be a lot of work, but that shouldn't be quite as difficult as the last one. So week 11, what you're going to be doing is the first 2 days of the week, you're going to spend peer reviewing the drafts of your fellow students. So you'll have one of those that you'll turn in on Saturday and one you'll turn in on Sunday. You can do them both Saturday if you want to, though. And then the rest of the week you will spend revising and editing your own paper, at the end of which you will turn your own paper into here. And so I'm going to go ahead and take you through the process of all of the different steps you're going to take this week, starting with the discussion thread. So there's 4 different discussion threads. These 3 are all due later in the week, though this one up here is well, not later in the week, they're due Monday. But this one up here, one of these is due on Saturday and one's due on Sunday. This is the main thing you're going to be doing this week, is the literature review peer critique thread. And if we go there now, you should recognize this thread. At the end of last week, you turned in your papers to this thread. They should all be listed down here by now. Right now, there's only this sample that I've turned in for demonstration purposes, but by the time you watch this video, there should be all 10 or 12 of you guys down here. So for peer review, there's you're going to pick out 2 students from the class and you're going to give them feedback, and there's going to be a 3-step process that you need to follow in order to give your fellow students feedback. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to scroll down and you're going to find their paper down here. And the first step you want to take is you want to say, you want to just leave them a little message as a reply that says, I am something like that. This is fine. So, once you find the person you're going to give feedback to, you want to leave a message like this first, as a way of saying that someone is reviewing this paper, and that way we don't end up with 6 people reviewing one paper and nobody reviewing another paper. The goal is to have 2 people for every single person who's turned in a paper. 2 pieces of feedback for each of them, and 2 pieces of feedback for you. So, yeah, the first step is to do that. The second step, you're going to open up their paper, and by just downloading it, and in my case, the sample one that I'm using looks like this. By the way, this is not in modern APA, so don't use any examples you get from this. So, you'll open up their paper and you'll start reading through it. And when you see things that you feel like you need to leave feedback on, you can leave comments on here. You just highlight whatever you're going to talk about. And up here in the review tab, good. All right, hold on a second. Okay. All right. So up here in the review tab, so you will highlight whatever it is you want to say, whatever you want to talk about, and then up here you click review, and then you can click new comment, and you can add comments that will form a big line over here on the side of the paper. So you can make comments like that going down through the paper. And every time that you see something that you think they need to work on, or if you think that it's a really good thing that they said, then you can make comments on that too. and yeah, it'll save them all right here. And so, yeah, work your way through the paper. That's the first step you should do, is go through the entire paper that the person wrote and give comments saying what you think they should work on, where they might be missing information. If you feel like you don't understand something, point that out. If you feel like there's a grammar, spelling issue going on, point that out. If you want them to add more details about something, point that out. Okay, so once you finish going through their paper, the next step is to download this document right here. This is the Peer Critique Literature Review document, and it looks like this. No, like this. Alright. This is a giant set of questions Dr. Sanborn has written that you will use in order to give feedback to your peers. You will put in your name up here. You'll enable editing first, and then put in your name and the author of your paper, and then from there you will go about answering all of these questions. So the first few are about the format. The next ones are about all of the different sections of the paper and things that they could work on in them. And then finally they get down to the references page, and then grammar and capitalization and all sorts of stuff like that. Try to have something to say for every one of these. If you're reviewing a person who's really sharp with grammar and stuff, you might not have as much to say with that, but maybe you'll have more to say with like information they should have added, or stuff they need to put into different sections of their paper or something. Okay, so once you have finished both of these documents, what you'll do is you will go for both of them, and you'll just save each one as this. For the peer critique, you want to put both of your names on it. And then save this as a document on your computer. I'll pretend like I saved that. And then for their paper, you just want to say that it's your notes. Oops. Come on. Yeah. And I'll pretend I saved that. Okay. And then the final step of this process, you will click reply on their post again. You will attach files, browse local files, and you'll attach both of these. I believe you will have to do it as separate posts. Let's find out. Yeah, each one will have to be a different post because you can only post one file for each one, but that is fine. You don't have to say a lot up here, just something really simple is fine. And then press submit. And so you should have 3 posts all together on their paper. One just saying, I'm going to review your paper. The other 2 will have a copy of their paper and a copy of the notes sheet that you have filled out. When you are going through everyone's paper here, when you're finding somebody to give feedback to, find everyone who doesn't have any feedback and give feedback to them before you start giving feedback to people that already have someone. So if you see a name on there that says that someone's going to comment on that paper, then scroll down until you find someone who maybe doesn't have one of those. We want to try to make sure that everyone gets 2 pieces of feedback exactly, and that we're not, all reading one paper and none of us are reading the others. If somebody doesn't get any feedback, though, by Monday, then I will go through these papers and I'll give feedback to the people that don't have it. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the literature review peer critique. You will do one of these on Saturday and one of these on Sunday. So that way you don't have to do it all at once, but if you'd like to, you can do both of them on the same day. Just make sure they're different students and make sure that you don't give feedback to somebody that has more than 2 people giving feedback to them already. Okay, so once you're done with those 2, you should have 2 pieces of feedback on your own paper. And so you will be able to download those from the comments that people have left you and see the comments on the side, and you'll also be able to download the peer review critique pages from both of those and read over the things that they say you need to work on. And from there, you will be able to complete the other parts of these. So you'll have the rest of the week to finish proofreading, copy editing, and revising your paper, which should actually be in this order. But before you start that process, you're going to want to read over each one of these and ask questions that you have about the differences between each one. But I'll go through the differences right now. So the first one of these you'll want to do is revising. Revising means when you go through your paper and you try to fix big things that are going on in your paper. You want to work first of all on any kind of paragraph structure problems that you have, any kind of organization issues that you have. Those are the things that are going to create more problems while you're fixing them. So those are the ones you want to do first. Like if you need to add a bunch of information to a paragraph, you're going to add a bunch of sentences to it. There's no reason to edit that before you write all of it, right? So you might as well do all of that first. That's the first thing you want to think about, is the large structural parts of your paper that you want to fix. So that's what revising is. Editing, or proofreading rather, is reading through the paper a bunch of times and finding all of the errors that you can find in it. And so the best way to do this is to try to find different ways to read through the paper so that you're not just skimming over the same information. There's a paper that exists in your brain that is perfect, and then there's a paper that exists on your computer that isn't perfect. And sometimes, if you're like me, you'll skim over it and you will see the good paper and not the one that is on the screen. One way to get around this, a pro tip, if you go to Microsoft Word, let's see which one of these. Yeah. Actually, I meant this one. So if you go to Microsoft Word and you want to get your paper, have your paper delivered to you in a different form, what you can do is click this button up here, and it will. Yeah, go ahead.
The effects of communication styles on marital satisfaction.
Okay, so you can actually have the paper read to you aloud by the computer. And the computer will not miss any spelling errors or grammar errors or anything like that while it's reading through your paper that you probably would miss. I know that I miss those all the time. If I'm dyslexic, so if I try to proofread something, my brain is going to turn everything the correct way. So if this is a problem that you have, I recommend trying this technique to see if you can catch errors in your paper that you might not otherwise notice is there. So that is proofreading, and then the final step here is copy editing. And what Dr. Sanborn recommends is that you print out a copy of your paper if you have a copier, if you have access to a copier, and go through it with a pen and fix things up on it on paper. You will notice more problems on the printed copy a lot of times than you will if it's on your computer, just because it's a different format. So that is a pretty useful way to go through your paper. Just take it out of the form that it's in, put it into a different form, which is pen and paper. There's less distractions. It's going to activate different parts of your brain seeing it that way. And you'll be able to go through the paper and find probably more mistakes than you would have thought were there. Okay, guys. I sure hope this is still recording. Okay. Yeah, hopefully that covers everything. So for this week you have all of these to do. If you have any questions, there are plenty of places for you to ask questions. Yeah, I believe that's it. Good luck, guys. I will see you all in the discussion sections.